Ever wondered how psychological warfare plays out in your everyday life? It's a question that may seem a tad dramatic, but the reality is, this form of mental manipulation isn't just reserved for spy novels and political intrigue. It's happening around you, maybe even to you, in more subtle ways than you'd think. Psychological warfare, in essence, is the use of manipulative tactics to influence or control the behavior and perceptions of others. It's the invisible battleground, where words, not weapons, are the tools of attack and defense. In this video, we're going to uncover 10 common forms of psychological warfare. These aren't just concepts from academic textbooks, but real-life scenarios that you may encounter on any given day. From the insidious gaslighting to the overt bullying, we'll help you recognize these tactics, understand their impact, and arm you with knowledge to better navigate your interactions. Stay tuned as we delve into the first form of everyday psychological warfare. Ever been made to doubt your own memory or perception? That's gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where a person is made to question their own reality, memory, or perceptions. It's named after the play and film Gaslight, where a husband manipulates his wife into believing she is losing her sanity. Picture this. You've been working on a project for a month. You've put in countless hours, lost sleep, but you're proud of the result. Then, your boss comes in, shrugs and says, "I don't remember assigning this to you." That's a classic example of gaslighting at work. In personal relationships, it can be as subtle as a partner saying, "You're overreacting every time you express a concern." This technique is used to gain power and control by making the victim question their own judgment or reality. Understanding gaslighting can help you protect your mental health. Next on our list is manipulation, a common yet damaging form of psychological warfare. Manipulation is essentially the craft of controlling someone's actions or feelings to serve your own interests. It can rear its head in various contexts, be it friendships, romantic relationships, or workplaces. In friendships, manipulation might look like a friend always making you feel indebted to them or exploiting your kindness. In romantic relationships, it could be a partner who constantly makes you feel guilty or plays on your insecurities to maintain control. In workplaces, it might take the form of a colleague who skillfully shifts blame, or a boss who uses fear as a motivational tool. The key to dealing with manipulation is learning to recognize it. Pay attention to the patterns and trust your instincts. If you often feel used, coerced, or guilty in a relationship, chances are you're being manipulated. Knowing how to recognize manipulation can empower you to stand up for yourself. Ever been made to feel guilty for standing up for yourself? That's guilt tripping. A potent and often subtle form of psychological warfare, guilt tripping is a tactic that manipulates your feelings of guilt to control or change your behavior. It's like a trip into a maze of self-doubt and remorse, where the exit often leads to the manipulator's desired outcome. Picture this. You're making plans for a weekend getaway, but your friend says, "I wish I could go, but I've got so much work. Must be nice not to have responsibilities." That twinge of guilt you feel? That's guilt tripping in action. Or consider a more serious scenario where a spouse might say, "If you loved me, you wouldn't do this." Here, love is being weaponized to induce guilt and manipulate behavior. So how do we navigate this? Start by recognizing it. Understand that your feelings are being used against you. Practice saying no and standing your ground. Remember, it's okay to prioritize your needs. Being aware of guilt tripping can help you maintain healthy boundaries. The silent treatment is a classic form of psychological warfare. This tactic is the act of ignoring someone, not responding to their communication attempts, and maintaining an aloof demeanor. It's a silent yet potent weapon that can be deeply unsettling. The silent treatment is often used as a form of manipulation, a way to assert control or punish. It's a power play, designed to make the other person feel insignificant, unimportant, and often guilty. The person on the receiving end is left guessing, filled with doubt, and anxious about the state of their relationship. The key to recognizing the silent treatment is to be aware of abrupt changes in communication. If someone who was previously engaging with you suddenly becomes distant, it could be a sign. Remember, everyone deserves respect and open communication. Recognizing the silent treatment can help you navigate difficult relationships. It's a step towards understanding the dynamics at play and taking control of your emotional well-being. Playing the victim is another form of psychological warfare you might encounter. This is an intriguing strategy often deployed by individuals seeking to control or manipulate others. It's a behavior where someone plays the innocent party to gain sympathy, or to avoid taking responsibility for their actions. Imagine a coworker who consistently misses deadlines, But instead of owning up to their poor time management, they blame external factors. They might say, "I couldn't finish the project because my computer crashed," or "I was too stressed with all the other tasks you gave me." Their goal is to make you feel sorry for them. In personal relationships, someone might constantly bring up past hurts to make you feel guilty and manipulate your actions. They might say things like, "You know I've been hurt before, why would you say that to me?" Understanding victim playing can help you avoid falling into manipulation traps. It's important to recognize this behavior for what it is, a form of psychological warfare. Shaming is a damaging form of psychological warfare that can deeply affect individuals. It's a tactic used to make someone feel inferior, guilty, or inadequate, often by highlighting their flaws or failures. Imagine being constantly reminded of your mistakes, being criticized for your choices, or being belittled for your abilities. That's shaming. This tactic is often used to control or manipulate. By making someone feel less than, the perpetrator gains power. They can mold the other person's behavior to their liking, pushing them into a corner where they are more likely to comply out of fear of further shame. It's important to recognize when you're being shamed. This understanding can help you build resilience against such attacks. Remember, everyone has flaws and makes mistakes. No one has the right to use them against you. Being aware of shaming can help you stand up against it. Intimidation is a powerful form of psychological warfare. It's a tool often used to wield control and power over others, creating an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty. This form of manipulation can be subtle or overt, but the end game is always the same: to make someone feel smaller, less confident, and more compliant. Imagine being constantly pressured into doing things you're uncomfortable with, or being made to believe that you're incapable of making your own decisions. This is intimidation at work. It's like being in a constant state of unease, always second-guessing yourself, always feeling like you're walking on eggshells. But here's the thing. Recognizing intimidation is the first step towards protecting yourself. By understanding how it works, you can start to build up your defenses. You can learn to stand your ground, to assert your rights, and to not let anyone make you feel less than you are. Recognizing intimidation can help you protect yourself. Bullying is a form of psychological warfare that can have serious effects. It's a term that often conjures up images of schoolyard taunts or online trolling, but it's much more than that. Bullying is a deliberate and ongoing misuse of power in relationships through repeated verbal, physical, or social behavior. It can happen in any setting, from the workplace to social circles and even within families. It's not restricted to physical aggression. Bullying can be subtle. It can be a constant belittlement, exclusion, or undermining someone's value. The effects of bullying are far-reaching. It can lead to stress, anxiety, depression, and even impact one's self-esteem and self-worth. If you or someone you know is being bullied, it's important to recognize it for what it is. Remember, no one deserves to be bullied. Speak up, stand up, and reach out for help. Understanding bullying can enable you to take action against it. Deception is a subtle yet potent form of psychological warfare. It is the act of causing someone to believe something that is not true, typically to gain some personal advantage. Deception can take many forms, from simple lies to more complex schemes involving manipulation and betrayal. In the realm of psychological warfare, deception is used as a tool to control and manipulate others. It can be used to create confusion, sow doubt, and create a false sense of security. When wielded skillfully, it can steer people away from the truth and towards a reality that benefits the deceiver. But deception is not invincible. It can be unmasked by critical thinking, a keen eye for inconsistencies, and a strong sense of self-worth. By understanding the nature of deception, you can equip yourself with the tools to counter it, guarding your mental and emotional health. Recognizing deception can help you maintain honesty in your relationships. So, these are the 10 forms of psychological warfare that you might encounter in everyday life. From gaslighting to manipulation, guilt-tripping to the silent treatment, these tactics can be more common than we'd like to think. Whether it's victim playing, shaming, intimidation, bullying, or deception, it's crucial to recognize these forms for what they are: psychological warfare. Remember, understanding these tactics is not about pointing fingers or blaming others. It's about empowering ourselves. It's about developing the ability to recognize when these forms of psychological warfare are at play and taking steps to protect our mental health and well-being. But also remember, it's not just about recognizing these tactics in others. We must also be aware of when we might be using these tactics consciously or unconsciously, and strive for healthier, more constructive ways of communicating and interacting. Did you gain any insights from this video? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content on self-care and well-being.